Welcome to the channel. I am making some changes here. So I had recorded a May update, or a mental health update for the start of May a week ago, and I made like an addendum to it as I was editing, and I made a little edit. But I experienced something new this past weekend, and it opened my eyes to a new way of thinking, or a way of thinking that I've been struggling to master, and this allowed me to further grasp that concept. So I have a different perspective of things now. The changes that I want to make include taking some videos down, actually not taking them down, just privating them. So I get very personal on this channel, or I have been getting very personal. That's another thing that's changing. I personally just don't feel comfortable spilling out all of my details from my childhood or going too in depth about what I struggle with. I'm very open about it to begin with, so I'm not going to not tell you about how I'm feeling, but as far as specific details, I just want to keep those to myself. And those intimate details about my childhood and things I experienced, I would rather just keep that to one person knowing besides myself. It's just a very intimate thing with me, and I just, after putting the first video of the the shame therapy series up, I was just like, you know what, I don't like that all of my business is now permanently like on the internet. So for my own sanity and my own happiness, I just want to private those videos for now. I will be taking down my childhood trauma video and the video that came after that. Just for now, I want a break from those being on the internet. Eventually, I'll make them public again to spread awareness, but ultimately I will then take it down at some point. It'll be a juggle of making it public and making it private again, just because the idea of it permanently being out there just isn't for me, and I do like to have control. So if I have the tools to control when that video is up, then I'm gonna use those tools. So that's where I'm at with those things. I've also been putting a lot of pressure on myself to make content all the time, like basically pump it out, and I'm not that kind of person. It takes me a while to get through a project sometimes, but I also realized I was starting to use my spiritual journey as a means for content, and it totally strayed away from the purpose of me following my spiritual path and why I started on this journey to begin with. So, and this is like what I struggle with, because for now I'm going to take the pressure off of me to make spiritual content. I know I created this page with the intention of having solely spiritual content, but for now, I'm just not gonna right now. I just don't. I'm at the part of my path, I will be honest about this. I'm at the part of my path where it's becoming difficult for me to want to commit to the rituals that I've set in place for myself. I.e. being at my altar, charging crystals, journaling, doing the shame therapy. I still haven't even really dived into chapter 1. It just, right now, I have been in an emotional state of survival. Like, everything's fine, there's no emergency, but it's just like I've just been clamming myself up, because it's like there's different things going on in my life where I don't want to focus on my emotions. I feel like I'm not safe enough to work on my emotions, because like at the same time, when I work on my emotions, when I'm in a survival state, I feel like I could be spending that time getting myself out of survival state. So it's a chaotic mess. And also with spiritual work, and especially things as deep as like shame informed therapy and deep wounds and healing, there really shouldn't be a timestamp like by this. Like for me, I was trying to do every week 30 minutes of this work, and what I failed to realize is it's easier to dedicate 30 minutes of your day to a word search than it is 30 minutes a day to your trauma, because one is so mind-numbing and the other could just be a disaster, and you have to be in the right mindset to do that kind of work anyway, because if you're already feeling low in the dumps, like why would you try to address wounds? especially if they are still affecting your daily life, and if it's something that's so embedded into you, it's not a good idea to work on it when you're not in the right state of mind, which is okay. And I was giving myself this deadline. I was giving myself all this pressure to do this journey and to fix my core shame for the sake of having content. And it just doesn't work like that. That doesn't do anything for me personally. It defeats the whole purpose. So for now, I've got some different ideas for videos, and I'm probably just not even gonna stress it. You know, I do have some life-changing things coming up, and I need to focus on those and getting those squared away. But and I still have to finish my other channel. Not have to, I want to. But I'm just trying to find that childlike wonder again and try to just re-spark my creativity and see if there's something else that I could post, because I genuinely love posting. I love editing. I love this whole process. It's just the current content array that I've set out for myself is not my cup of tea right now. You know, I honestly do feel underqualified. Just for the sake of me not putting effort into my own spiritual path, who am I to coach you? You know, and even though this page wasn't necessarily intended to coach, I set this channel up to speak my journey, to speak things that I've learned. However, initially with that's still something that someone else can take away. You know, there's something in my path that someone else can resonate with. There's still stuff in my path that people can learn from. So ultimately, this is kind of a teaching role. Not really what I signed up for, but ultimately, some people will resonate with certain things that I have to say. So I just want to be careful with what I do say, and just being very, very cautious about the content that I do upload, especially when it comes to super personal things like manifestation, law of attraction, the laws of the universe I've been looking into. And there's way more to, there's way more universal law than just law of attraction. And really, when you start into spirituality, that's all anyone talks about is the law of attraction and manifestation, because who doesn't want things? You know, but ultimately that's not the only law of this universe. And if you really focus on that and you don't balance the others, it's going to be a mess. So balance is something that I'm always learning, because I can never, despite being a Libra, master of the scales, I have a very hard time balancing everything. But I also think there's a lot of poetic beauty with that too. You know, just mastering my own birth-given talent. That's all I had to say. I just wanted to update you guys. At the start of May, I was not doing too hot at all. April was rough, actually. The first week and a half was all right. Got a little rough real quick. So we're getting there. I feel a little, especially after that experience I had this past weekend, I'm just like, you know what? This life is a blessing, and I'm just going to take what is thrown at me and continue on. I will talk to you guys some other time. I don't have any videos planned as of yet. I do have some different things in mind. I might just be throwing up videos just to throw them up, and whatever I like the most is what I'll stick with. So I do want to get back to speaking about spirituality sometime soon. I do want to get back to doing that in general. It's just right now is not my time. I need to go into hermit mode when it comes to spirituality and make that a me thing again, just a me personal thing. And then once I feel like I'm back on track and I have a better understanding of what I'm talking about, then I'll hop back on here and say what's up. So but for now, I'll just be uploading some random things, and we'll see what happens. So thank you for sticking around, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.